Here we go. We're going to head into a traditional War of the Spark draft. That's best of 3, and we're doing it from the free-to-play account here, so we may do some rare drafting, especially pack 1, pick 1, and hope that our better skill will bear out. And I want to thank Card Kingdom, my sponsor here. I'm going to turn on their logo again, fire that. Hey, there's my Card Kingdom sponsor logo. You can go to cardkingdom.com and get all of your Magic needs taken care of. You've heard me say it before. It's true. Competitive prices. If you're shopping for cards, you need to comparison shop with them. And they consistently give me the best return on selling cards. I sell cards to them when I'm not selling them to the public. And I appreciate their buy prices as well. So check them out. And you can do so via the affiliate link in my panels down below. And they'll know you got there from here. We're going to jump in. We've got single combat as the rare / gem pick. I think I like Vraska as the power pick. Toll of the Invasion jumps out as a strong card. Epiphany Honor has been very good in the red-blue deck. I mean, it's all just the curve, Silver. So let me take a quick Silver says, isn't it less advantageous to rare draft in best of 3 since the stakes are higher? It's all still at the end of the day just math. And so if we go to left screen real quick, so this is our win rate. We're at a 60% win rate. Ooh, that's a little too close. And we are in best of 3. So that's traditional down here. Ranked, the line at ranked is much higher. So you're right, Silver. Like this gap between ranked. Oh, so I'm going to make sure I'm reading this right. Oh, I've been looking at the wrong line, I think. Wait, traditional rare. No, that's right. Okay, so traditional rare versus sorry. We've mainly been looking at this line historically because we've been comparing it a traditional draft rare, but the other we are in. So we want to compare the dotted yellow line and the thick yellow line to understand this is the gap you're talking about, Silver. That in a ranked, the threshold goes up higher. So actually, probably not rare drafting aggressively enough in best of 1, frankly. I think I was actually looking at this line, which was not correct because that was traditional. We're in traditional now, so we're looking at this line, and then but in ranked we would have wanted to look at this line, and you can see it is a much bigger difference, Silver. Yes, but at the end of the day, it still is math, so you're still looking to try and estimate how much of an impact a card is having, and that is the gap that you're talking about, though. So let's go back. Oh, I wasn't in draft mode anyway. Let's go to draft view over here. So the answer is yes, our threshold should be higher, but I think pack 1, pick 1, it's very difficult not to rare draft it for me. Pack 1, pick 1. First, if we ended up playing white, this would be playable. And then, yeah, over Vraska, because we don't, granted, Vraska is very close to colorless. Like Vraska can be played in a lot of different decks. But I still think that this isn't a blank. The threshold we need is, yeah, plus a 0.5% to our win percentage. And, I think if we were certainly in black or green, we would take Vraska. But the fact that the gem EV of Vraska for our deck goes way down because we don't know what colors we're in yet means that I want to lean to the gem drafting. And again, this is actually a playable solid card. It's not like the win percentage gap between these two cards. I think this is higher. This is better. but this isn't a 0. This is just below Vraska. Well, Pledge of Unity is a card that makes me want to be in white-green Proliferate. Finisher is solid as well, but I don't think I value Finisher pack 2 pick 1 or pack 1 pick 2 over Pledge. I would rather take something. It's kind of a non-bow with single combat, but I'm not even really thinking about that. I'm thinking in terms of what are really powerful cards that if we do end up in that seat, we'll be really happy to have. And then if we don't play this, that's fine, but we took the most powerful card in the pack. And also I would note that, like, well, this isn't very good, but Pouncing Lynx might even wheel. We've seen that. Zhang is lower. I don't like taking Zhang this early. I think he falls under the banner of these uncommon don't protect themselves planeswalkers. I don't know if Zach is here, but Zach has soapboxed about that to me, like the in a good way on the side, like of pointing out that there's a lot of these planeswalkers that are a little bit trappy because they read well when you imagine them played protected, and then you get the game situation where there's no protection for him whatsoever, and then he becomes a liability. And so yeah, and also, as Colin puts out, this is a better card in green-white than this is. Although, again, we shouldn't be blinded by single combat. Zhang sets up to go green-black, for example, in a way that Pledge of Unity doesn't. Although, frankly, if we ended up in green-black, I'd still play the Pledge of Unity. It's splashable in green-black for sure. But Trusted Pegasus, yeah, somebody points out, is a valid pick to stay open. And if it were a color I loved, I think I would go that direction. I'm just going to go for power, though. We're going to take this, and if we don't end up playing it, no big deal. We're going to try and see where the cards are pointing us. And in this case, there's a Rising Populace here, an Enforcer Griffin, and a New Horizons if we wanted to stick with what we've got going. But there's also a Spark Harvest we can just take. Again, it's only pick 3. We can take just the best card, which I think is Spark Harvest and not Ashiok, for example. New Horizons, Fiddles suggests maybe is the pick. I think you kind of wheel, though. Like, I think you want to take these later, and I think we just take the best card. Yeah, I think we're just pack 1, pick 3. Let's take the best card and really try to see what the bots are telling us. Single combat is playable. Yeah, sure. It's a sweeper, and you can. I was pretty down on it. I've come up a little bit. I'm not saying it's great. We took this over Vraska on the gem axis, and my point was that while worse than Vraska, it's not a 0. It's not like we're taking an unplayable rare for pure gems. We're taking a card that is absolutely something you can run, and if you can build around it, can actually be pretty good. I've lost to this card because somebody left themselves with a big trampler, and I think it was maybe a big Mowu, and I was left with, something, but nothing that saved me, and the inability to recast anything to defend the next turn just finished me because they were able to single combat, keep their big trampler, attack me with it, and then I untap, can't do anything, pass it back, and they attack and kill me. So that's its best case scenario, basically, but it does have applications. Looky here, looky here. These are 2 very good cards in the uncommon slot. But this makes me want to take Prowler. Raoul's Outburst, I think pack 1, pick 1, I'm going to take, and assuming nothing else tempting, I would take Outburst over Prowler. But I think while we want to take the best card, we now need to start taking a look at what we have, and a Leyline Prowler plus Spark Harvest and a Pledge of Unity does suggest that we could potentially end up in a nice black-green spot. And we have Spark Reaper Tithebearer, Courage, and Thirst, which some of these might wheel. So I'm going to take the Prowler. I like Toll over Courage, although Law Rune and Pegasus are also suggesting that we could have stuck to our green-white guns and been pretty rewarded, but I think we just take Toll here. Banehound, not particularly playable. Nothing in here particularly playable unless we somehow are more straight 3-color, which of course I hate to be. Yeah, I mean, here's the white. It's not like it's amazing, though. It's not like I look at this white and go, signals, we're supposed to be white. It's like, no, this is actually why white's not good, right? Because none of these are particularly amazing. This can be good. I've seen Martyr do some really good work in a board-clogged Proliferate deck. Yeah, Martyr is the strongest, and I don't like the God Pharaoh's statue enough to take it even for Vault. So we'll take the Martyr on the hedge, but this does not make me think we're leaning back there. I think we have too much black now, but we'll see. We could take a Silverwing as something we could play no matter where we end up. I don't like the Behemoth. I'd much rather have 4 or 5 both as stats and the 6-drop for the card draw. Yeah, here I can change the format info, so you at least know that we're doing War Best of 3. And I'll adjust the record to 0, 0. All right. I don't value it, Rob. You can lose to it. That's the thing with strikeout home run cards. You lose to it a couple times and think, wow, does this not suck? Well, it's like, of course it doesn't. It doesn't. There's many instances where it doesn't suck. There are some places where it comes down and is a home run in terms of its impact on the game. But it's one of those home run cards where the strikeouts are largely hidden in the player's hand. They're not having time to cast it, or if your opponent just gets to a fast start and you drop that on 6 and they've already got the board advantage, it's like a mulligan, So it's that floor ceiling thing, right? Its ceiling is pretty darn good, but its floor goes way lower than I'm comfortable with for a 6-mana pick. And here, yeah, I'm going to take the Silverwing. We could take Crocodile. Like, this isn't great, but we have Pledge of Unity, and if we do get counters on it and you can start proliferating, it's pretty good. Does it get walks? What? But yeah, I'm gonna take the Crocodile. I think the Silverwing is super replaceable, so we can take the Guild Globe to go with our splashy splash type deck here. If you want to get there. You don't love to play Dusk Mantle. It's not a good card, but sometimes you just need early curve. Like, I was thinking about, there was a deck where I almost played the 0/3 reach, play an extra land this turn. And it was a sad situation, and I ended up finding enough low drops to not play it, but I had such an amazing high end. It was like, all I need to do is make it to my high end, and I think I win this game. And I almost had the place where I was going to play the 0/3. Yeah, I know. Aid the Fallen. I don't like, that's the combat trick, right? I am kind of off combat tricks, especially in black-green. Aid the Fallen. Oh, well, we don't have a Planeswalker yet. Okay, that's not the combat trick. It is the, quote, good one, but with no walkers, I don't prioritize that. I only want one of them anyway, and we don't even have a walker. Yeah, and Globe is actively good in the deck, I think. Hey, it came back. I was talking about this pack had wheel potential, and we got a great one in the Giant. And another one. This time, maybe we could take a first Silverwing over second Giant, but I would play 2 Giants. So I'm going to take the second Giant and try not to get any more, I guess. Dreadhorde Invasion is a gem pick we can take and be happy about. Biter Blossom is beatable. We have to be careful with it, but it does make me want to start looking for sack benefits. And yeah, unlikely Aid the Fallen, right? Watch it. And also they have the same casting cost. That's a real confusing point when 2 cards of the same rarity and the same casting cost have the same word in the title and the same color. Yeah. Well, of course that goes with casting costs. Anyway, we'd love I'd splash a Prison Realm, but yeah. Biter Blossom, good for playable, good for gem grind. Gotta love it when that happens. And speaking of good for playable, good for gem grind, we'll take the Citadel as well. Maybe start looking for some life gain, like wheeling this Nurture would be good. If you can build up some life before Bolas's, that's really nice. Ooh, Taskmaster is great as well. Looks like moving into black, pack 1, pick 3 is paying dividends now, because we kind of cut that color, and I think it's coming back the other way. Hey, Alpha. Good time zone to you. New Horizons here over Spark Reaper, I think. Helps with the tricky Bolas's Citadel quote splash. I mean, the mana intensiveness of this card, and helps us be able to cast Pledge of Unity, and if we want to, even single combat. So Ward Scale Crocodile plus single combat, for example, is a thing that, you know, if you build up the Croc, it can do some stuff. It's not amazing, but it's a fairly unique effect. Spark Reaper can get you, yeah, sure. I think Spark Reapers come around pretty late, though. Like, we're not going to take it here either. I like this whole row seems to me, but I think we'll pick up a Spark Reaper before we're done. And here's what I've been finding with Spark Reaper. I play it and never activate it. The game ends before I activate this dude. Not 100% of the time, but a significant portion of the time, this is a 2-3 for 3, which is a floor that is below where I want it to be. But yeah, we're going to take a Band Together, especially with Death Touchy. But I just wanted to comment on Reaper. I think we'll pick one up, but I've been falling on it a bit because the 3 mana to activate is actually pretty oppressive. When it starts to go off, it's very good, though. And we do have the Dreadhorde Invasion, which is being pointed out. You know, like Spark Reaper plus Dreadhorde Invasion is pretty cool if you can get that going. But we're going to take Band Together cleanly and easily here as the clear pick. But I just wanted to talk Spark Reaper for a second. Here's an Aid the Fallen that we can grab. And this is what I mean. Like, I just don't prioritize this. This is now, like, I almost want the Heartfire, like a splashed Heartfire over an Aid the Fallen with no Planeswalkers yet. And even if we picked up like 1, it still doesn't make me want to play Aid the Fallen. I don't want to play this unless I'm getting a Planeswalker and a creature pretty reliably, which means to me at least like 3 Planeswalkers. I'm not really happy to play this on 2 unless the Planeswalkers are nuts. So I'm still not even really interested in this. And I'm definitely not interested in this. We've got Ward Scale Crocodile and 2 Tidebearer Giants. So we're going to not play any laptops, any big laptops. So I am going to take Heartfire on a possible splash. It's unlikely, but it's the most likely thing I would play out of this pack, I think. Here's a Nurture. We were expecting 1 to wheel, kind of hoping for 1 to wheel, but it's okay to take this here. I really do want to... The 3 life is no joke when you're moving towards a Citadel. So casting this on 5... casting this to gain life and cast Citadel on 5 is pretty amazing. Grizzly is another card that's been falling because of how often it misses, but it's still, it's much like the Spark dude. I still kind of want one and want to have that available. Huatli, no, I'm not into Huatli. That just seems like fancy play syndrome. I don't. It does gain life, I'll give you that. And I talked about life with Citadel, but it seems like almost pure life gain to me. The toughness as power maybe has some application, you know, happens to randomly have some application here and there in our deck, but it's not an important factor. You like Grizz with Citadel? Oh, because yeah, you can know when to draw. Good point. Yep. Like, because since you can look at the top card of your library at any time, if you got Citadel and Grizzly out, you won't activate unless you know you're going to hit. So that's a great call. Yeah, you can also pay 4 to cycle the top of your library if you want to do that. We'll happily take a Snare Spinner here. Another Croc, and this has been pretty typical. Just a lot of white cards at the end of every pack. I think if you want, I mean, we might experiment on the throwaway account with like forcing white and seeing if that's a thing here, because they really, and perhaps appropriately, the bots really don't value white. So at least that's kind of accurate to reality. I doubt we're going to be extracting Charity, but we're definitely not going to be Prismiting. Well, I shouldn't say that. Yeah, our 2s look fine. We're not going to play this. We have, if we need to, Operative, and then the good ones in Taskmaster, Snare Spinner, and Dreadhorde and Guild Globe is all cards we're happy to play on too. So we'll take the Extractor, but I'm going to throw it right in the board. I really don't think we're going to run that. I don't think we're going to run Triumph either. Yeah, is Honor... I don't know if Honor is splashable. I mean, if it's good enough for us to want to. We can go all in on Crocs. Ooh, this is interesting, because we have a Conjurant, which is just generically great. A lot of stuff we would like for it, but we have a Mythic. And if we go back to that chart, let's take a look. Because the bar is significantly different, as we've seen. Mythic's best of 3. So let's look at Mythic's best of 3 for a second. We're in traditional Mythic, so we're looking at the solid red line, and that's here, and we're at about 60%. Yeah, it might be on either side of this, but you can see it's not that big a deal. Even between like 55 and 65 is pretty slight. But it needs to be well over a percent increase to our win percentage, and I don't think that there's really any common or uncommon that can provide this much win percentage to a deck. So that's the assessment, though. Yeah, we could even splash it. If we get, we might even play it. That's another good point. We're trying to splash powerful stuff. Like, part of the point of this deck is to take power and play it. I was thinking, I saw the double blue and immediately was thinking that we couldn't. But, you know, one more New Horizons, and then I think we're actually there on splashing it anyway. So that's a good call. I think it is in a controlling deck. If you're trying to go long and control, like, you cast a Finale for a handful of extra cards, and you're going to be pretty happy with that, I think. But it's not, you know, it's also because it's a place to go with your ramp. So take that. Challenger Troll seems fine here. Try to wheel another Nurturer. We are somewhat filling up on 5s. We don't need all these Crocs. Like, we'll probably just play 1. Take the Challenger Troll. I like the Challenger Troll a lot. I think it's just big, dumb power, toughness, and fight me. You know, just like, I see you're spinning some wheels over there, blue-red, deal with this, you know? And sometimes they can, but it really poses a question and says, do you have a Callous Dismissal? Because you need one right now. Here we have the Raptor, which we could, again, splash pretty easily here. And if we don't, this is an opportunity to take a Spark Reaper. It may come around. I don't think we want to splash Saheeli. We could splash Cruel Celebrant. It's another thing we could do. any non-rares you would take over Conjurant. I could see decks having certain synergy picks that were so powerful by yeah, well, you can don't think of it. Yeah, you can splash 2-drops if they're good on turn 7, right? That's you can splash anything that you're happy to play in the late game. You're correct to say you can't splash things that are only good on turn 2, but that's not what's going on here. Kaya's pretty good, but like I was thinking like the 2/2 proliferate blue creature when you're heavy red-blue spells, for example. Or maybe you're even, like, I would want Outburst. Yeah, Flux Channeler or Outburst over that Uncommon Spirit when I'm heavy in that deck. I think those would have a better impact on your deck than the Spirit. But it's very good, obviously. Anyway, what are we doing here? Here's a Reaper we could pick up again, or the Raptor on the splash, because if we're happy to proliferate late, we can still splash it. But at that point, the body's not that exciting. I'd rather just take a Spark Reaper, I think, and sew up having one of those. I mean, we are approaching where we can splash even things like Callous Dismissal if we think they're super important. So here's a more interesting pick. Like, you've got Angrath. This isn't really an Angrath deck, but any deck that can cast it is kind of an Angrath deck. And we have a Parhelion 2. I don't know if this moves the needle by 0.5%, but I am willing to... yeah, we could actually... Maybe we want to try that, take it and play it. If we can get another... I want another New Horizons before I'm happy with that. Yeah, let's do that. I'm into it. Let's see if we can actually play this. I think it would actually be good in our deck if we can pick up just one more New Horizons, or we can wheel that Nurture. I think we were putting together the... Although Bolas' Citadel plus Parhelion, I would do it. Let's do that. That's our new goal. Citadel out the Parhelion. I don't think we want a third giant, especially now that we're adding a Parhelion. But what else are we doing here? Are we taking anything to splash? We could take a Divine Arrow on a possible splash. It is a decent splash when we're as low on removal as we are. We're not playing a third Tidebearer, so I'll take it for consideration. I don't think we're playing anything in that pack, but we'll see. Here is where I would love the gems, but this is one of our last chances to pick up exactly what I was asking for to both enable us to play Parhelion and to help, again, with the Bolas' Citadel. So we're going to take New Horizons, even though, yeah, this is arguable, but this is exactly what I was calling for, so I'm taking it. Maybe we even play Nissa's Triumph in a deck where we're running Parhelion, but I think we'll actually be able to get there off of what we have now. And we're not playing this worm over the 6s we have. So I'll take this on the chance we decide we want to really ramp. Nothing here, but this is best of 3, so I'm really happy to pick up a Forced Landing. Yep, Diablo, everybody has seen that I'm totally willing to forego my gut feeling on the math to truly have the deck we want to have. I tend to be pretty disciplined when it's just a random part, but when it feels like it's a real, this is what gets us there, this is the thing we were asking for, I have no problem saying, no, we're going to do it this way. Now, is there a Neoform sneakiness, any ETB stuff that we have? Like, we could Neoform a Croc into a Tidebearer. Nah, it's not really interesting. There's a big gap here. I was hoping for a Nurture to come back. I think maybe pick 10 we might get a Nurture, but maybe it was this pack. I can't remember now. I think there might be a nurture coming around the corner, which would really put a capper on this and make me feel much better about where we're headed with this. I think I'll take it for progress. We're not going to play steady aim. There's the Iron Bully, but I'm pretty down on the Bully. I don't think I'm playing the Bully in this deck, so I'm going to take Vault Progress. And more with the, hey, white is always open. It's got Enforcer Griffin and Rising Populace with at pick 10. This is pretty common. I think we might want to explore leaning a little more into white since the bots undervalue it so much. It may just be that while white is not great, if it's going to be abandoned by bots at this rate, we should try capitalizing on it. Maybe. I don't know, maybe it's not that bad. I'm going to take the Griffin. It's actually a card we might bring in and splash if we said, you know what we need in this deck right now is flyers. An 18th Croc versus a 2/5 we're never going to play. Or, I mean, are there... I actually think there are scenarios I could imagine where we decide that 2/5 is just the right power and toughness for an opponent we're facing, and we don't need a 4th Croc, so... Yeah, when you're not playing any of them, just do consider, like, it's a reach, right? But there is this case, there is this world in which we decide this is the right card for the job. And maybe if we get heavy into flyers, we would want steady aim. I don't want that, but we'll put that on the board. Time twist. All right, I think this turned out interestingly. We've been ground for 20. Not sure what we had that we already had 4 of. Maybe Citadel. Gotta make a note of that. It's fun that we're already in the grind on certain cards. We're totally doing Citadel into Parhelion. It's going to be the first thing that happens with that card. We're going to cast Citadel and literally play Parhelion right off the top. Oh, I didn't tweet, but bothersome to hear that you didn't get a Twitch notification. Anybody else confirm Double D's lack of a Twitch notification? Anybody get a Twitch notification this morning? My mornings have just become hectic, and I've been dropping the ball on promoting my own stream via tweet. Okay, well that's good to hear that it's not everybody. Fix your S, Double D's. Well, after all that, we only have a couple of cuts here, so I hope we like these splashes. Let's take a look. We're at 11, 14. Cut a Duskmantle Operative as not being super important here. I think we want to splash our removal. We're gonna maybe even play a Plains. We'll see. Let's see how many without a Plains. How are we doing? We have Guild Globe, Prowler for 2, 2 New Horizons, and a Nurturer. So we have 5 non-Plains ways to make white, and 2 of those make double white. The finale, I'm leaning yes, because New Horizons is a single card splash for it. Thanks, we'll go to deck building. Finale is a single card splash. New Horizons is a single card splash, so we have 2 shots at splashing for it without an island at all. And then a 3rd shot of Nurture, Prowler, and Globe, and getting 2 of 3 of those. That's less likely than just straight drawing a New Horizons, but it is a kind of 2-point-something ways to splash Finale of Revelation. And it's such a late game card that I think it's worth the risk. the real risk in playing it is that it's in our hand as we're being overrun by red-black, right? Like, but it is best of 3, so we could cut it there. I kind of like starting it and dropping it if we are facing a really aggressive deck. And then what do we want to... Similar reasons we can leave in single combat. It's not amazing, but it's a pretty unique effect and powerful in that respect. Croc doesn't do much, but it can. I would say, you know, it has ways to get counters. And how are we proliferating? I wish I could... One of the features I missed from Magic Online is you could go proliferate, for example, and then click, like, apply this filter down here. I kind of wish I could see what... This has... wait, do we have anything with proliferate, in fact? Because that could impact decisions here. Not really. Okay, with no proliferate, I am going to ditch the Croc. And we'll just try and skip this stuff and move right up to 6. Would like a maybe a Croc can be justified though, or Griffin. Maybe I like Griffin over Croc if we're going to be playing a Plains anyway. Grizzly is, I think, just playable enough. I'm looking at Heartfire, but I think it's just playable enough, maybe with the Dreadhorde Invasion. But maybe it is cut Heartfire. It's not like we have a lot of regular creatures. We have no Planeswalkers and only 10 creatures. And most of those 10 creatures we don't want to sacrifice to a Heartfire. So really, Heartfire is a combo with the Dreadhorde Invasion and like the Toll of the Invasion. And that's just not quite enough, I don't think. So... That's a good question. Maybe we just need to find a way to put more creatures, you know, pledge. But I think it is, actually. I think it is. Like, it gains life, and here's what you can, like, if you thought of it as a combat trick that gave 2 creatures +1/+1 in mid combat, if we think of it as a medium trick as its floor, then I like it. It does not have the upper end. Its ceiling is not where it would be in a deck with more creatures, but I still think the floor is high enough. So, yeah. What is this? Is it a flying ship? What is it even? Because we got to come up with a name here, and obviously it's got to be around like Citadel Parhelion. Let's go land on the Citadel, because that's what we want to do. We're gonna drop the Parhelion right on the Citadel. Can change that later, but let's get on with it. Come up with a better name and I'll change it. That one's pretty weak. Now let's look at land. We are going to go for the no island finale splash and the low plains. I think we want at least 1 plains. We have 5 natural sources of white without a plains, so plains becomes 6. The Guild Globe is a one-shot source of white. It's not an ongoing, so we have 4 ongoing and 1 one-shot. I want a heavy enough black source in the deck to reliably get this down, though. So I think I may just leave it on 1 plains and see how that goes. It is really a great mana fixer. Like, maybe if this requires 2 plains, maybe the answer is to cut this and just play like a Duskmantle Operative, just slot in something in the 2s to have an earlier presence. Yeah, that's what Rob is suggesting. Yeah, let's do that. Although I think Arrow is fine even on turn 7. That's why I was willing to run it. Like, you know, it's going to get something on just about any turn of the game. And the Operative, yeah. But the Operative, I'm down with the Operative slotting in here. Again, it's not sexy or great, but yeah, you got to make it to 7. So let's put some land back and see where we're at. Well, at least that, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This is the normal, sometimes the type of deck where you could go to 16 because of the extra sources you have, but since we are trying to cast a Parhelion and have Finale, we'll go ahead and stick to 17. I like the Grizzly in here. We've observed it has a reasonable combo with Citadel in terms of helping understand when to activate. So when your hit percentage can go up that much. And also, we are going to have some flood outs. Like, this is a deck where we're going to run 17 land, 2 New Horizons, a Leyline Prowler, and a Nurturer. So we are at over 50% of our cards produce mana. And I want to have something to do with that in that case. And this stuff really helps me feel like we have a plan for the extra mana we're likely to have. So I think I'm going to go with this. Might even go this to 8/8, but again, this just helps ensure that these New Horizons hit their target. I just really want to hit Dreadhorde on 2. Like, we have a bunch of 2s. Yeah, I'm actually going to risk... Oops. This split, I think. We have a Guild Globe that represents a Desperation 9th source of green. So in effect, we do have 9 green sources for turn 3. And having 8 black sources for turn 2 makes me feel a lot better with what we've put in at the 2 slot. I already talked about why I want Pledge. That its floor as a decent combat trick is fine, and its ceiling is still pretty good, even if you're... Oh, I've got a weird... I think I'm taxing my system here. Let me see what I can close so this doesn't complain at me anymore. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna close all that. I lost my chat. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Give this a shot. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Did I lose the stream? But just felt like it was a browser problem, not a full system problem. Diablo, and that's one of the reasons we gem draft. Like, so often, too often you have games where literally none of your spells mattered. None of the cards in your deck mattered because you just didn't cast anything of relevance before getting booted out. This looks good. Thank you, Timnos. Ooh, that got better too. Now we have a 3. Certainly happy to have the Duskmantle Operative here over the Arrow. Let's keep that in mind in comparing some of our choices. Just a data point, not a conclusion, but I like to observe data points about close picks. And of course we're going to trade. We're just trying to get to Citadel with the highest life total we can. We could wait for the Reaper, but I'm even going to trade off the Reaper. If we can make it to Citadel at a high life total, we should just be fine. So that's our goal. And if we're trading a Reaper for a trick, so be it, but we're definitely going to try and trade with the battalion. Huh.
Shadows. Let's tidy up in there.
Guess we take the globe, and we're going to keep lands and Citadel, and try and get there on that. Okay, good, good, good. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to ditch the Tithe Bearer. We could risk it and hope we draw a land and ditch the land, but we're going to ditch the Tithe Bearer and cast the Citadel. Brutal. Super harsh. Okay, we did find one land. Wrecked by Davriel. This sucks.
Empty.
That being said, it doesn't suck too much if we can just draw a land here. Oh!
Oh, sorry.
F you, Davriel. Scene. Scene, Fiddle says. By scene, I assume you mean crime scene? No, I'm not going to give up yet. They haven't put anything out to pressure us. We could turn around right now, cast a random 5-drop, a challenger troll, and just win, you know? Yeah, Oppo had to have... Like, every turn of theirs has been perfect. You know what I mean? Like, every turn of theirs has produced exactly what they needed. Yeah, we had the perfect draw 6 ways, and they had the perfect draw 7 ways. Well, we're not near casting that. So now we've drawn a couple of effective blanks. Don't even care yet. I'm just going to keep passing here. But again, they haven't done anything, you know, they got to do something else. I think we can fade these. They probably have a fistful of removal. This is the first creature we've played in a while. I'm going to play the swamp now. If they force discard, we have a couple of blanks here to pitch. And if we find, if we actually find a land in Horizons, we can actually cast Parhelion. Not that it is going to do much here. So we'll see.
I'll be back. Monsters know better than to hide under my bed.
Single combat is not great, but it is not bad, I don't think. I think it's just not great. It's tricky because it's like it averages out to like your kind of C minus level card, but it does so in a strikeout home run kind of way. Oh, Nick. We had the most beautiful hand of all time. We went, our curve was Duskmantle into Spark Reaper, into Fourth Land, into, you know, what else do we have? Into Nurturer, into Citadel. So we had turn 5 Citadel off of Nurturer. That was our hand. And then this happened. And we're making some greedy splashes, but they're justified. We have the tools for it. We're not drawing them here. This is also part of the strikeout home run of big splashes. Sometimes you get this happening to you, but it doesn't make it the wrong decision. It just means it didn't work out that time. We can talk about single combat, but I'm trying it because we also don't have a lot of
This time.
extra room to maneuver. I'm playing that because if we do get out of this, it's going to be because we land a creature and it matters. Yeah, I didn't talk about that decision, but I was willing to use the removal on Kaya because our stabilization out here is like a Tithe Bearer Giant, or, you know, well, not anymore.
Wherever I go, nobody appreciates my handiwork.
Ugh. So again, you know, we've been picked apart this game, but we actually even had outs right there. You know, right there, if we end up with Taskmaster or Leyline Prowler or something we could play, and we find a New Horizons, we can cast single combat and clear out much of their board. What do you mean? Oh, because they have because they'll get to keep two things. I mean, people are saying single combat against this opponent is not good, but if we cast this right now, they would lose 3 of their 5 permanents. I mean, it's a 3-for-1. Granted, we're talking tokens in some cases here, but oh, and they only keep 1 thing. Or yeah, so we get 4 of their 5 permanents. So I find it interesting that the comment is, well, this isn't good against this opponent, where it would currently be a 4-for-1, now 5-for-1. You know what I mean? Not an actual 5 literal cards that they use, but yeah.
Oppressors deserve whatever I feel suits them.
I mean, if we find a New Horizons, it's going to be our stabilization play. I don't think it's in time now. The Celebrant is enough to do us in. And in fact, this actually plays nicely in our deck because we're a low creature count. We're not expecting to have a bunch of creatures out. We have a lot of spells, so... Yeah, I think too bad we're kind of just dead on the Celebrant, such that even if we draw the Horizons now, I think I need to scoop. Yeah, we're just dead. Now, if they told I would scoop, we don't want them to see any of that stuff. So... kind of low to the ground Planeswalker stuff. Yeah, Heartfire looks better, but as you can see, it's not like we had a lot to sacrifice to the Heartfire. That's my real problem here. I mean, it's a real cost. If you're in a deck that's really just pumping out the Amass, you're happier. Yeah, Charity Extractor maybe has a home here. I'll put that in for consideration. And Arrow, I certainly was happier with having the Operative there than the Arrow. If we, let me see about this Extractor. If we keep this in, what are we taking out? Maybe a Tithe Bearer, since they seem to be coming in a little faster. Yeah, we could ditch the Finale too. I still kind of like it. I mean, I think that was a pretty grindy matchup, actually. We just didn't... But they're also stripping our hand and stuff, so maybe we just want to get down... This also helps recover from a hand destruction strategy. Yeah, Finale seems alright. We got 24 seconds. What if we play it... What are we cutting? Gotta cut something. Not Toll, not Ban, not Horizons. Maybe cut the Pledge. They're showing a lot of removal. I'm gonna try this. I'm sticking with the Parhelion. We're gonna make it work. I have a dream. Okay. If we don't get picked apart to oblivion, this looks fine. And we need to find one more land, of course. But on the play, we get Taskmaster, and if we find one land, we get New Horizons buffing a Taskmaster before Oppo can toll us, at least. Yeah, Parhelion may be greedy. Maybe we just don't even have the creatures to crew it, and we should cut it, even though it's a sweet place to try and win with. Sweet inevitability. But we have different inevitability, like Bolus's Citadel. Although that can be just that can end up unplayable. You can't call something inevitability if you can envision spots where you wouldn't be able to play it. All right, come on, deck. Land on top, please. Any of them will do. Any of them will do. Please let us get the horizons down before we are told. They toll away our revelation. One time, dealer. Land on top, please. Land on top. Okay. It happens. It happens. We're just playing over 50% of our cards create mana. And we still are stuck. And then we get triumphed. How terrible. Here we get told, and then I want to quit Magic. Although toll actually wouldn't be too bad here. Now, if we get a land, what are we even casting? Probably the Prowler. Although New Horizons getting... Well, we have two, so if they did something to strip our hand, we'd still have one of our Horizons, even if they decided to take that. So, yeah, let's go with Prowler here. They may be waiting to toll after building a board presence. I'm expecting now Planeswalkers that we are going to have a hard time pressuring. So I'm feeling actually a little glum. I think they're going to untap, play a well-protected Walker, and we're going to be not feeling good. If we can get another land and rattle off a couple of Horizons, we go land, we can go Horizon, Horizon, and then if they don't toll, we get a sick finale. Ooh, that's going to be a rough attack. If we do the Horizons, double Horizons play here... Oh, they're not going to let me do it anyway. Fair enough. Where to put the New Horizons? I'm never sure here. Let's see. Do we put it on the forest because we have extra, or the plains because that's our splash land anyway, and we maybe want it to produce? Although, let's look at what we need for double black. I mean, double green. We have nothing for double green, so I am going to put it on a forest. And yeah, we're gonna, even though I love the getting this a little bigger, equalizing kind of what we have here in terms of blocking makes sense to me. So that no matter what they tap, we have something back that is a reasonable blocker. For one thing, well, because I looked at our cards and we have We just have no stress on our green at all. That with that now, like, potentially we have a world where we could cast 2 of our white spells in the same turn, for example. I mean, we're not going to do Parhelion or whatever. We could do Enforcer Griffin single combat if that came up. So a pretty narrow choice there. Really want single combat now, but if they keep tapping us, yeah, even if, yeah, single combat would be great now. Show me the combat. We might be dead, though. Being dead wouldn't be good. What are you trying to do now? We'll go ahead and go green. Ooh, wait. Sorry. Yeah, green, green. Horizons on the plains. Counter here. And Spark Reaper. Actually, let's go Grizzly. Trade off the Grizzly. Are we just dead on board? They tap this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 if they sack something. Mikey sees dead on board. I see like 11. Like this goes to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Got a block here. I think we're dead, though. Couldn't cast Finale, needed to have some kind of blocker. But let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we, yeah, we're dead. Like, we need literally Finale off the top. So, mostly dead. We're on a 1-outer. Or not Finale, sorry, we need single combat off the top. The one card that can save us. People were questioning whether we should play, but that's why we're playing it. Again, its ceiling is, oh my god, nothing else would have saved us in this spot. Why tap it for mana? I didn't see the point, D's. What would tapping the mana get us? Ignominious start to our day here. We've had 2 amazing draws, but we just got wiped up by an opponent with better draws. Oh, you thought it was our main? Sure, yeah, no. That's why they did that. Blah. This is where I'm supposed to have a big advantage, best of 3. But didn't even come close to a game win there. Colin, you're not wrong. It saves us for a turn, but didn't really save us. Alright. Another solid-looking hand. How is this going to go horribly wrong? Flood, I see. Flood. Alright, deck, enough with the lands. We're good now. We got it. We're covered. How about a 3-drop that we like to play? It's a pretty small sample size. And also, a lot of my best of one stuff has been from accounts that didn't do anything after the change in season. So I've been playing best of one against largely worse opponents. Chandler, pretty disgusting. I think we need to... Well, I was going to say threaten to trade, but frankly, I guess with 7, they're pretty far off, but they're only 1 activation from getting that above even us being able to kill it. So I'm going to try and race, hopefully find Spark Harvest or something, I guess. We did not end up with a lot of removal for this deck. It's a real problem.
Let's see how you work.
They're going to get defensive over there, so, well, we'll play the giant, and maybe we can work towards undeniable card advantage. Heck, maybe we can cast this for 10. I get it. We're about to... They make 1 token here and we're in serious trouble. What can we do, though? Attack into a 5/5? We need our Griffin. Again, flyers in this set, man. You don't have them, you feel it in spots like this. Like, how do we get there? How do we get through? It just doesn't feel like there's a reasonable way. This helps. We can throw a New Horizons token, make the giant a 5/6, and then have pledge to make it a 6/7 if Oppo gets frisky and puts Flux Channeler in the way. And if they don't, they'll probably just chump. I expect that Oppo will chump something here, but we'll give this play a chance. Single combat isn't super great, but it would be a fine draw. I'd be happy with it. Like, it would help. It would give us a start. But what we really want is Spark Harvest for the Channeler. And there you go, as expected. Oppo makes that sensible play, but we do get Snare Spinner with Pledge of Unity up, so we'll probably pledge before we untap. We could pledge while they are tapped out, but the most predominant counterspell you see is No Escape, and this is not counterable by that. But this is where it's going to get absurd, as Nick points out. I'm expecting Saheeli to turn that artifact into a Flux Channeler, and then we'll see some non-creature cast, and Oppo will get seriously out of hand. And, yeah, I mean, we need... If they can do this for multiple turns, we're just doomed. We might be able to withstand the effects of this once. If they cast another non-creature here, I just don't know what we do. I like, yeah. We have to cast a finale and hope that we find single combat to clear this board. Here's what we do. Here's our plan. Our plan is finale of Revelation into both Spark Harvest and single combat. Also, given that that is our out, well, let's see. Let's see if Pledge can do anything. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Pledge adds 6, 7, 8. So we could gang block the army token and Pledge as a stopgap in case finale doesn't produce the result we're looking for. But actually, I think what we do here is, we have our plan, Double D's, right? I mean, our plan is finale into single combat and a removal spell. That's all we've got, and given that that's all we've got, I think the chumping should just start now. As Mike suggests. So we chump, and do we need to chump the 6? I think we just chump the 10. Because we may buy ourselves like one extra turn, like we do a big finale here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're not at 12, which is what we need to get the X of 10. But we're going to, let's see, let's make sure we can survive via chumping to do the single combat. We may need to leave the nurturer up. If we assume they go off again and these get even bigger, we probably need 3 blockers. I think we need to have 3 blockers to be sure that we can take advantage of a found finding what we need. So I'm gonna leave that. So we're gonna draw 6 cards and hope that the top 7 are what we need, or what we need is in the top 7. Great deck, thanks. Yeah, thanks. Well, if we did it for 5, what are we trying to cast with the 2 that we're saving?
Genius is as genius does.
Like, leaving up the Nurture gave us at least Spark Harvest. Alright, now what if we, finale, like, even if we, well, I'll untap, if we can. I think we can't even win if we get what we want now. This format is brutal. The snowballing is pretty demoralizing. I'd be pretty table flippy if I wasn't streaming right now, frankly. To not even come close to winning any games with this deck so far, like, not even close. But now, if they can't get us here, I will at least savor the chance of a single combat. I guess we take the 8. And we take it like this. Doesn't really matter what we get behind with a single combat, but I think we do this. Alright, come on, at least for some interesting streaming. Let's put it on top. Oh, come on, deck. Alright, well, we're gonna do it on my terms. You haven't seen Flux Channeler go off like that, Silver? Man. Well, lucky for you that you haven't faced it, and too bad for you you haven't played it, because it's not that uncommon. Maybe we just need to play more removal. Like, I'm feeling... like, this doesn't kill a Flux Channeler is the thing. Or a Saheeli. This kills Flux and Saheeli. Well, Saheeli at the right loyalty. It's quite a cost, though. We have trouble playing this cost. Trouble paying this cost, but I think their combo-rificness is worth risking that. Maybe we can find an additional creature to bring in, but I don't really see anything. I want the globe for this splashing. Finale, we fired it off for 1 million, and it didn't do anything because of the nature of how we were interacting in that, but it did help. It was our chance to find the way out. Maybe cut the pledge. Which leaves a very weird splash going on here, I gotta say. But I think that's correct. Woof. A little risky, but we gotta keep this. Get the New Horizons out, and at least our hand is turned on, and we have a potential turn 5 Enforcer Griffin, which can, or turn 4 Enforcer Griffin, which could really contain Saheeli and other potential opposing Planeswalkers. Now we have a potential turn 4 Challenger Troll, but we do need land off the top. A couple turns in a row here. Deck. No. But we do get a Dread Horde. Okay, okay, okay. Not the suckiest of suck. I think we've been pretty unlucky, and our draws have looked pretty ugly a couple of times that it's gone wrong. Like, we've drawn all of our splashes or whatever. Like, this just looks really awkward, but I don't think it requires that much to go right. I don't think it's as bad as you're saying. In this case, what can we do here? We'll do, well, it doesn't really matter. We're going, oh, actually it does, because I think I want to play it on the... Let's go green, green. And where do we want this? I guess on the swamp. I feel like these are these tiny marginal decisions that have mostly have very little impact, but have just enough that I worry that I'm doing it wrong. Hey, Tenno. Not great. We haven't won a game yet, and we're down. So we're down 1 in round 2, having not even seen a win in the distance yet. Maybe we're that right now. Like, maybe we see a win in the distance right here. This is the closest we've come to feeling like maybe we're gonna do it this time.
Sun in the sky, brine on my skin. Great day to fight.
How much do we care about knocking down Kiora? Probably enough to go at her once here for 5, at least. They don't have 3 mana up, so we don't have to worry about the creature counterspell. Wow, Fnatic. Wings fan, are you magical? I'm not sure we want that. Like, oh, yeah, because it gives us lifelink right now. That's cool. Yeah, Wingspan hacking. Well, Nick, if we amass 1, we turn on the lifelink right now. That's not nothing. Yeah, I like it. Let's take a look at their hand, and then we have Heartfire still up. Do we use the Heartfire now? On, like, Kiora? Is that worth it? Do we even care? I think we save it, right? Like, we'll have a 1/1, but I don't want them to draw a million cards off of Kiora, but at least we get to look at their hand now. Oh, clock, come on. So, Massacre Girl, New Horizons, Herald, Aid the Fallen, I guess we just have to take the Massacre Girl, but I just wanted to make sure. Sometimes the seemingly obvious thing isn't actually what you want to do, but in this case it is. Yeah, Girl dies to Heartfire, but it's just the most powerful card there. Mike may be right. Maybe we just should have taken this, because look, this is exactly what I was worried about by not going after Kiora a little bit. Yeah, and I guess Girl draws the card as well. So there's very similar. They're similar in terms of what they would have done there, I guess. Yeah, now we better drop Griffin. We could drop the Troll to try and get through Dam Breaker with it. But I like Griffin. Why do I like Griffin? Again, what do we really care about Kiora at this point, given their hand? Like, we don't know what that is. I guess they can get back Massacre Girl or something. But I'm going to go with Biggest Creature here, actually. Chewbacca. Forest and what do we want to do here? Just Griffin? Get a Griffin in the air? Yeah, let's get a Griffin in the air, I think. And I'm gonna no attacks for now. See if this Griffin goes unanswered. Well, Massacre Girl doesn't really go off here. She's just a good creature unless they do something. I'm gonna go to the face. I think Kiora is gonna do what she's gonna do, and we're on face plan. Oh yeah, I should read this card. Hey, keeping it surreal. Thank you for that. $5-month sub, pretty cool. 6 land. Spider for Heartfire fuel, possibly. Yeah, I'm a little worried about. I also don't want to overcommit with us having single combat, but we're pressuring, so we can do that. Yes, got to watch out for damaged creatures in Massacre Girl. This doesn't do much, so that's okay. Cura keeps getting bigger. They're kind of looking for their green, I think. These lands have a cost.
The ocean surges, life thrives.
All right. Band together can take something out, but we'll wait on that. I'm gonna keep on the plan here. Plan A is Enforcer Griffin for the win. This is instant, right? So we can just sit on all of our instants and be pretty happy about this spot. Okay, they found their green. Now let's see what they're going to do with it. Right, Wingspan is correct. This is the critical turn on Zombie Army. So typically when an opponent is trying to play to beat Dreadhorde, they're looking to manage your army at 5/5, and we'll see if they're hiding something to try and do that. And if so, we may have to Heartfire again, which would be kind of sad, but we'll see here. Just I'm not like band together. Why? Like, why do we want to use band right now, Colin? Can't swing now. What have I done? They can't, or I can't? Yeah, like also we want, as Nick pointed out, if we can get to lifelink on the army token, then band becomes really good. I mean, band's already really good, but we'd like to gain the life. See, they're still just not doing much that stops the Enforcer plan. Yeah, we basically win on it. Like, Nick wants to go for the big single combat band together play here, which we could do. Let's see, wait, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we do have... We have not enough mana. So drop this. Yeah. I like your thinking next turn. Yeah, right. Because we can get them down to 7 here. And then it is just literally lethal next turn if they don't have anything else other than what we're seeing here. You know, if these are blanks and they draw a blank, we have a win. What are they thinking about here? They're tapped out. Are they on full control? What is going on? It must be on full control, but I don't know why. Oh, I have priority. Hello. It was on that. It was showing this, though. What am I supposed to do when it shows this? I don't know. Oh, we have Heartfire and well, I guess maybe we can't do it all unless we Heartfire. We can Heartfire the Herald and then it works. Ah, and there's their that's all right. They think they're gonna ooh. I could fire off Band to get the life link, but it's not really the pressing concern. Yeah, right. Like we don't need to worry about this. I think we have the win here because they're going to try Massacre Girl here. Oh, it's only lifelink when attacking. Yeah, still not reading cards. I don't know what. One of these days I'll read cards. Okay, so doing that.
Let's get moving.
Okay, great. This is what I thought they were going to try, and here's where we go. Heartfire. We just got to make sure we don't die as long as we can chump. Yeah, we don't die, so we do this, and submit that. Hey, Cordy. Welcome. Now, though, we don't get... now we do have the problem of Herald creates a two-creature situation, so we don't have the snap win. Oh, did I screw up? Oh, I did board control nonsense instead of guaranteeing the win. Sorry. If we lose this one, that's all on me. I've mentioned that before. What happens, I just get obsessed with board control and stop thinking about life total. So we have to then do this. And do this. Oh, dang it. I've screwed this one up. I hate this. This is not right. But this is also a clock situation. I wish I were better at clock. Alright, well, maybe that worked out. That's not what I was sure was going to happen, so I kind of just got lucky there. I don't feel very skilled. I feel like my clock was running out and I flailed towards something that worked. Oh, well, the correct play was to win. Correct play was to go to the face and just win. Yeah, Massacre Girl does a lot of weird stuff, and when you're at 0 hourglasses and your line is going down, you just gotta be like, yeah. I kind of like the clock overall. I'm not actually sure I will like chess clock any better. I'm not sure. Yeah, I also not sure of the details there. Well, they're tapping a million, so they must be doing one of the finales here to destroy us. So get your clips ready. This format. Like, whatever. That's funny. What is even going on here? Well, all right. We live to fight another day. Oh, I thought we could do both, but we don't even have 10 mana. Don't have 10 mana. So yeah, Grizz first. That'll do it. Wait. We don't even necessarily need to, though, do the Spark Harvest play. I mean, we'll still do this because it's correct, but I'm not sure we actually Spark Harvest the remainder. We'll see. But we do, yeah, we obviously want the body on board. That's the thing. Like, we literally couldn't cast the Grizzly afterwards. But I thought I was doing single combat and Spark Harvest, no Grizzly. So when I realized that wasn't possible, we did that. Yeah, we're going to take 4 from Massacre Girl for now. See if we can't find something else to deal with that. One thing, we want the mana sink here. Yeah, we can do full priced harvest at worst. $9 to $19. Don't have a lot of life leeway here, but we'll do a full price harvest to start. It's non-land, right? There's just permanence. Yeah, non-land permanence. So now, with this Dam Breaker and the nature of the rest of our deck, we're kind of on the Deckham plan now, honestly. We gotta... find some chumps. All right, let's play the Citadel and see what we can do. Well, we're still going to filter that land to the bottom. We can do that now, even, in case we want to play what's underneath. If we do this, it's a forced chump, but maybe if we can come back and attack, we're getting back something we care about, like the Challenger Troll or the Griffin. Yeah, we could also put a stop here and just draw this on upkeep and take 5. I think that's what we need to do here. Well, we have Taskmaster plus draw. We can't play this off the draw, so there's no even need to do it now, really. And we're gonna have to... Yeah, now we're just dead. Yeah, we tried. We're dead. But let's make him attack. I'm gonna go full control. Grizzle, I'm not sure where you see the place I could have activated Grizzly with success. I'm not sure, Eduardo. I miss things all the time, but I didn't see it there. Well, I know chat often appreciates when streamers have a rough run, because it's a reminder that it literally happens to everybody. Not that I'm some Hall of Famer that you would think it would never happen to, but, you know, sometimes you lose 4 straight with a deck you don't hate. I mean, I'm not saying this is like the best deck I've drafted in the format, but I think it's better than it's performed, and it's better than this pilot has given it a chance to be. But this just happens sometimes. Real bummer to come off of our gold grind on the free-to-play account. We had about 25,000 gold that we ran up into gems, and boom. Yeah, we had some clunky draws, but we didn't win a game. We didn't win a game, and I didn't mind the rare drafting there either. I thought we made good rare drafting decisions, which is to say we didn't do it every time. We took like a very key New Horizons over an easy rare draft that I think was correct in terms of having the deck be cohesive. But super disappointing to 0204 like that. And we have an hour 10 before I was wanting to sign off. So what should we do? There's a couple things we can do. We can go draft again. I only do 1 draft a day on the free-to-play account. That's how we maintain a high gem total. Someone was asking about that yesterday. Sometimes people stop by the stream and are impressed by the amount of gems we have for a free-to-play account. When really, honestly, my throwaway free-to-play account has, I think, more gems than this, because I happen to have gotten lucky on it, and I barely play on it, so I just grind gold and turn it into gems. So really, the amount of gems a free-to-play player has is not the impressive question. It's, well, how often are you drafting while maintaining that? So we're trying to maintain about 5 drafts a week with the free-to-play account, and doing so at a 60% win rate has led us on a path that has been largely positive gem EV for a 5 draft a week play rate.